Please.
So, with your permission, we are going to start. Good afternoon, participants. On behalf of Ministry Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India, LNCPE, and behalf of respected Dr. G. Kishore Sir, Principal, I welcome you all for this session. We have a special speaker on this session, Professor Kalpana Sharma. About her, Madam is a passionate professional physical education teacher. Professor Kalpana Sharma is a physical educational professional having 28 years of experience in teaching, training, organizing, and research. Her core competency lies in enriching of physical education program to the university students. Apart from nurturing the physical education teachers at the graduate and a postgraduate level, she has spearhead the curriculum development, organization, and a conduct of numerous sports, fitness programs, national and international conferences, and entered into a MOU with reputed organizations. Being a member of a cultural curricula committee for NCET, CBSE, KVS, and MHRD has contributed in the various curricular enrichment as well as the fitness assessment programs development as expert. She has published 5 books and many research papers in reputed international and national journals. She has a credit of 7 MPhil as well as 9 PhD awardees. Madam, for this session, welcome for this session, and I request participants to pay attention for our expert opinion on this topic. So, over to Kalpana, Madam.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. Thank you, Kishore ji, for inviting me. And simultaneously, I wish to thank Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India program, Fit India program, and in particular, the LNCP Trivandrum and Kishore sir for in specific that they have provided me this opportunity to share with you the topic which has been shared by 2 other presenters. And I hope if you have any question, you can put that in question answer or chat so that we can take it later on. The process which we will be taking now is it will be kind of a 1 hour which I will be giving a talk. In between, if I ask you to give your input somewhere, you can put it in the chat boxes. And I take you to the journey of balanced nutrition and lifestyle for school children. For all of us as physical education teachers, maybe at any point, wherever we are still handling children. So whatever journey I'm going to take you in this 1 hour will be just tipping of eyes of what you have been already doing. So do not feel that I'm here with a new person with you, but I'm one amongst you to take you to the journey of balanced nutrition and lifestyle for school children. For school children, we all know the age groups are very clear, right from 4-year to a 17-year-old or 18-year-old, they are all school children. What is nutrition and what is lifestyle? All of us actually know what is lifestyle and what is nutrition. Just a quick point. The way a person lives is lifestyle. You have your own lifestyle, I have my own lifestyle. We may differ in our lifestyles, but still we have a commonality of being physical education professionals. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process of providing or obtaining food for health and growth. So these are the two things which we are taking in this topic, especially for the school children. So whatever we will customize for nutrition and lifestyle, we are talking in particular for the school children. So please keep in mind, we are talking on nutrition, we are talking on lifestyle, and we are talking as teachers together with us when we are talking on these two aspects. So let us talk about the healthy eating habits. We have all emphasized throughout our careers in life by talking to children to change their habits and become very healthy, take to healthy eating habits. Still, research shows that 56% of the primary and 80% of secondary children do not eat recommended daily amounts of vegetables. I ask you a question here, not as a teacher now, but as a parent now. How many vegetables do you eat? Do you eat all the vegetables comfortably? Or do you skip some of the vegetables from your own menu? Think about 5 vegetables which you feel you do not want to eat at all. And you can put it in the chat box right away that you do not want to eat which vegetables. And I'm sure this research will give you immediately that idea why our children do not eat. So hence, when we say that research is 56% of primary and 80% of secondary children do not eat the daily recommended amount of vegetables, we are telling as parents somewhere we are also accountable to enhance these percentages towards making them eat the vegetables. So I hope you have punched in your answers. We will take it at the end. A research shows that watching a lot of TV is associated with children and teenagers drinking more soft drink and not eating enough fruit and vegetables. I have 2 points of submission here for all of us as parents and teachers. Primarily, we understand that there should be a limited time of TV watching. There should be very little consumption of soft drink. The numbers and the percentages will come in the following slides. But do you think that can we replace the soft drink to something else? Keep thinking. Then we take you to the journey of what can be replaced, how much it can be replaced. Now, this is a very interesting slide. If you just watch this, this is talking about taking charge of your health by maintaining a balanced diet. We all, through our ages, have been learning what is balanced diet, what are the components of balanced diet, what is the caloric requirement of an individual, be it a children, be an athlete, athlete in variation, athlete or in positional plays. All these we have been talking about. But I want to submit to all of you that we need to take the quantity very seriously now. So when I'm saying so, I'll take you to the quantity part also, how much we should take care while planning our balanced diet. So balanced diet, as we all know, is the one that gives your body the nutrients it needs to function correctly. So definitely we all are aware that balanced diet is an important aspect of our diet, and we have to take care while planning our diets. So when we are planning our diets, we have to see what should be there in our diet. So when we say what should be in the diet, comes the part, the Eat Well guide. And for the Eat Well guide, you just glance this picture which is in front of you. I will take you to this, but you have to glance, give at least 30 seconds on each point. I'm sure you must have seen this very carefully. So if you have seen this very carefully, you can just punch in the chat again the 4 important takeaways of this particular Eat Well guide. 4 important takeaways, what you take away, whatever you feel that they are the best for me, or they are the best for my children, or they are the best for my students. So learners, you can just take it, whatever you felt are the best things. You've seen that there is a caloric requirement of 2000 for ladies at the down, and you've seen a 2500 for the male counterparts. It comprises of what? It tells you to take care of your purchases. It tells you to take care of the water component. It tells you about your oils, etc. It tells you about how eating less the things which have more sugar or more salt should be avoided. So an Eat Well guide is a very a simple mix, I should say, of preparing oneself into a component driven, thinking driven. I will say, if I'm a mother, I should think. If I'm a teacher, I should think. So I must tell my students that if you are buying a chocolate, see what are the ingredients of the chocolate. Do not forget how much sugar it has, how much food value it has. Is it high in fat? Is it high in salt? Is it high in sugars? So these checkpoints have to be created in the mind of the students, that they are able to always, before buying also, they will think twice. Oh no, my physical education teacher has taught me to look before I buy a chocolate, to look before what I am purchasing. So definitely he will try to see the labels and analyze how much quantity of sugar, how much quantity of salt is there in the product. So कहने का मतलब यही है इसमें कि जब हम खरीदें, कोई भी चीज खरीदें, तो हम उसका लेबल को जरूर देखें. उसमें शुगर, उसमें फैट, उसमें सॉल्ट कितना है. अगर हाई फैट, हाई सॉल्ट, हाई शुगर की कोई चीज हम लेते हैं, तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत नुकसानदायक हो सकती है. और हमारी डाइटरी हैबिट जो हमने अभी रिसर्च के हिसाब से बताया, जो कि परसेंटेज में वेरी कर जाती है एक के बाद, उम्र के बाद, उसको वेरी नहीं करने के लिए we have to take care of our intake in the form of salt, sugar and fat. So this was about the label part of the products. Now I come to a very, very important aspect which you must have glanced and observed very carefully, your glass of water. It's very easy to understand this glass of water. 6 to 8 glasses of water every day is a requirement. And when we say 6 to 8 glasses of water, we are talking only pure water. Whenever our students go for any competitions, we understand, we emphasize a lot to them, have lot of drink. You should drink juice, you should drink this. But if you see, observe this Eat Well guide, this Eat Well guide will give you a very clear idea that we should emphasize more on having water rather than anything else. So this is the importance of having 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. And also we should see that we are limiting fruit juice. We are not having too much of fruit juice. We are also having milk, which is low in fat. So these are some of the points which a student should make a checklist while we are talking to our students and we are transforming his behavior towards a good dietary habit. So we should always take care that we inform him how much. Normally we tell them ऐसा करो, ये करना चाहिए. लेकिन कितना करना चाहिए, कब करना चाहिए is a very important takeaway of this slide. Similarly, if you see on the left down, it says eat less of things which has got lots and lot of either sugar or salt. So such kind of things which have more oil, more sugar, more fat, they should be avoided, and they should not be a part of the caloric intake of an individual, which for a lady it is 2000, for a male it is 2500. Now we come to another very, very interesting slide, which is talking about the caloric equation of how much calories one should take. And I really want all of you to be ready to do this when we take you to the next slides also, so that when you do it yourself, you will be able to emphasize the same part to the other person. When I was really small, my father used to tell me a story. regarding input and output. I really did not understand at that time, of that age when I was very, very young. Now today I understand each word of input and output. Whether it is diet, whether it is profession, whether it is conduct of a class, whether it is conduct of a virtual lecture, input and output matters. So here also the health input matters. Hence, the calorie for determining weight gain or weight loss. So we need to think, we need to know, we need to teach the students about the weight gain or weight loss. Also, very interesting story. Story, Vinay, is just a part of my upbringing. When my teacher, I was very lean and thin at my college. So my teacher of physiology used to tell me, Kalpana, have one more chapati every day. You should have more weight. So he used to tell me every time, whenever you have your regular meal, have one more chapati to it so that you will gain some more weight. So similarly, there can be lots of strategies, but we are coming back to our intake and the weight gain. So if caloric intake is more than caloric expenditure, we gain weight. If calorie intake is less than calorie expenditure, we lose weight. If calorie intake is equal to calorie expenditure, our weight remains static. No rocket science in this. Every one of us know. But how many of us actually emphasize this in our life? And that's what lifestyle speaks to us. And that's what we have to say and emphasize to our young ones in the school also. So calorie intake and calorie expenditure are the two important aspects which takes you to this chart, which is here. And this chart talks about weight gain and weight loss. So if you are listening to me very carefully, and if you are with me right now also, so just raise your arms, both arms, right as well as left. Let your right arm be weight gain. Let your left arm be weight loss. Are you ready? So weight loss is on your right and weight gain is on your left. If you are ready, read this. Weight gain, carbs, protein, fat. Weight loss, BMR, physical activity, and dietary thermogenesis. So we have to have a balance of our intake and calorie expenditure. So calorie expenditure can be done by BMR. Calorie expenditure can be done by our keeping our BMR in control, having a good physical activity schedule, having dietary thermogenesis, and that is very, very crucial, very important. And so the weight gain, the input, the controls, which we forget sometimes, are in the form of carbs, are in the form of proteins, are in the form of fat. So it's how we eat, what we eat, and how much we have an expenditure. So input and output. So never forget the input and the output. So input is the weight gain and output, keeping a balance, is the weight loss. So always remember your right hand and your left hand should always be a balance, a balance, a balance is required. Right. So we come to our calorie expenditure. Calorie expenditure is made up of three things. Our basal metabolic rate is 60% of the caloric expenditure. Our physical activity is 30%, and our dietary thermogenesis is 10%. So this is a weighing, primarily a weighing of our calorie expenditure. So many times we want to skip our physical activities. That means we are compromising on the 30%. And if we are compromising on our dietary thermogenesis, we are compromising on 10%. If we are looking at the basic metabolic rate, we have to work very high on our basic metabolic rate and see that we do it at least up to 60%. So I hope the right hand and the left hand are now in sync. So let's join them and move to the next slide. Here, this I hope you will keep a copy and a pen with you. I'm pretty sure when we do some classes like this, we are definitely into a zone where we would like to understand and also experiment and also do some work which is given by the teacher. So Don't mind if I'm being your teacher right now, because I'm definitely on the other side. But still, I want you all to do this. Please take 30 seconds, note down what is required. Take 30 seconds. I'm giving you 30 seconds and I'll come back in 30 seconds. I hope all of you must have read this very carefully. So let's go with it. How to calculate and how many calories one should take. This is always $1 million question with everybody, in everybody's mind, be it a child, school going children, a parent, or anyone. So many of the nutritionists always keep doing these tasks. Let us now understand how this has to be calculated. So step one, I'm sure you must have noted, your body weight in grams. Please write down whatever your body weight is, body weight in kilograms. Second, multiply your weight in kilograms by 0.09 if you are a woman, or by 1 if you are a man. Do that now. Step 3, multiply by 24. So essentially, your weight multiplied by 24 if you are a male, and your weight multiplied by 0.9 multiplied by 24 if you are a female. Step 4, multiply your lean factor from the table below. You can see the lean factor multiplier is also here. You can check that. Your body fat percentage, if you don't know, you can check that. And you can use the example which is given down to calculate your calories. So I hope you will be doing it, or you must have already done it. Or if you need a little more time, I can give you 30 seconds again to do it. Quickly view the slide. Find your body weight in kilograms. Multiply your weight in kilograms by 0.9 if you are a woman. 1 if you are a man. Multiply by 24. Multiply by your lean factor. You have on the screen the lean factor multiplier also. Read on to learn how to find your body fat percentage if you don't know it. So we are going forward. Keep the multiplication and the work which you have done with you. And here we are. Multiply by activity modifier. So my daily calorie need would be 1252 multiplied by BMR multiplied by 1.55, which is light activity, which is equal to 1940 calories per day. So this is a quite easy calculation. I'm sure you must have finished it. So I quickly read it for you here, which is on my screen. So daily activity level multiplier. If we say 1.3, because very light, like say typical office job, sitting, studying, little walking throughout the day. So the multiplier is only 1.3. If I do light activity, so let's say any job where you mostly stand or walk, that's called teaching, or you in a shop, or you in a lab work, some walking throughout the day which somebody is doing. So that comes under the category of the light, and where the multiplier factor is 1.55. If somebody is doing a job requiring physical activity, say for example landscaping, cleaning, maintenance, jogging, biking, working out 2 hours per day at least, that comes under a moderate. And the moderate level, the multiplier is 1.65. If somebody is doing a heavy manual labor work, heavy work, kind of a manual labor, construction work, dancer, athlete, hard physical activity, minimum 4 hours a day. You see, it is very beautifully quantified here. We don't have to think. We only have to put ourselves where we are. So the moment you put yourself in a very light, you have a multiplier called 1.3. If you put yourself in a light, you have a multiplier called 1.55. If you put yourself in a moderate activity, daily activity, you have a multiplier of 1.65. If you have a heavy work and you have minimum 4 hours a day of activity, it's 1.80, which comes under a heavy activity schedule. And very heavy activity schedule is 8 hours of heavy activity. A multiplier is 2. So I'm sure you must have calculated. If not, then I just quickly take you back to the previous screen so that it makes your calculations complete quickly. So the step 1 was finding your body weight in kilograms. I'm sure you must have written. Multiply your weight in kilograms by 0.9 if you are a woman and by 1 if you are a man. Multiply by 24. And step 4, multiply by your lean factor. So your lean factor is here, which you have already seen according to the table here, lean factor multiplier, which you have seen here. And also you have seen this table, which defines you the daily activity level multiplier. So accordingly, I'm sure if you have calculated it, you can punch in into the chat box, and your work will be appreciated by us. If you have done that, please put it in the chat box. Okay, then we come to a very original Indian food. And this original Indian food also requires you to actually observe this table by yourself first before I start saying anything. I'll just say that there are 3 key divisions here. The first division is general. The second division is pulse. The third division is vegetables. The fourth division is non-vegetables. The fifth is savour snacks. The sixth are chutneys. And the seventh is sweets and desserts. So these are the food types which normally we consume in our daily routine or in our lifestyle or in our pattern of the day. Please observe this table for 30 to 40 seconds, and we'll get back quickly.
Madam, most of them they are answering in chat box.
Okay, great. So I can move now, no?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so the Indian food preparations we have, and in the Indian food preparations we have talked about what are the recommendations for the children. So if we see general, we have got the categories of rice, fulka, paratha, puri, bread. They're all specified with the caloric intake. So if we want to make a caloric intake table for our children or our students, or if any student wishes to actually comes to you and he wants that we should have how much should I eat, what should I eat, I'm a non-vegetable, I'm a vegetarian, etc., etc. So this is one very nice table which can be utilized to categorize the total caloric intake of a student. And I'm sure the left hand and the right hand, now that we know weight gain and weight loss, so we have a story to tell our students if he is asking for a weight gain or if he is asking for a weight loss. So from here you can take up the caloric requirements, whether it is plain dal, whether it is vegetables with gravy, dry vegetables. Definitely with gravy, the vegetables have more caloric values. The non-vegetables, non-vegetarians, omelette, egg, mutton curry, etc. That is also a lot of caloric value is there. But I would like you to really look into the cereal and the non-vegetable. You see, you will find high quantity of the calories whether we are having the cereal, also if we are having the non-vegetables. So we should not feel that we are not 100% vegetarians and we cannot improve our weight also. So kind of a good diet plan can be structured based on the calorie intake required from here. So snacks also, normally we eat snacks between meals, but the snacks are the ones which are the most high in calories. These snacks are the ones which are most high in salt. These snacks are the ones which are also having sweet at times. Many of us consume snacks putting sweet, additional sweet also. So that should be taken care of while looking into the plan for a day plan for a diet in based on the caloric requirements. Similarly, our chutneys, the groundnut chutney, the tamarind chutney, the tomato chutneys, these chutneys are also very rich in the caloric value. You have the quantity of one serving and the caloric value here to be kept in mind while planning the complete meal of a child. Then we come to the sweets and desserts. I know everybody is very fond of telling I'm a sweet tooth person. Fine, very good. But what about my calorie intake? Should I consume more sweets and desserts, or should I really convert those calories into something else? So knowingly, if we are eating it, then I think I'm not doing justifying things to myself. Knowingly, if I continue doing it, I'm further not justifying at all. So lifestyle changes, thoughts of a person, thoughts of children, impact of teachers has to be in a direction where we can bring lifestyle changes in our children. And lifestyle changes will come, and the percentages which research has shown, which is from a decreased number to a higher number of people or children not eating vegetables, can be changed by doing an informed discussions with our children, with our students. So please take care, and that can be discussed with the children at length many times, or maybe repeated times if required, till the time a behavioral modification is not held, till the time we have to consistently talk to our children to adopt to the changes in their lifestyles. That's important. So here comes the daily lifestyle changes for our children. So dietary changes, and now comes the lifestyle changes. Right. So this talks more and more on the proteins. You can see a full slide on proteins, and why we have kept this as a first input, because children are those who require more protein in their diets. So we say increasing your protein intake can boost metabolism, fight cravings, and significantly reduce appetite. Cravings is something which children really need to hold. And cravings is when chocolates come in. And cravings is where a lot of sweets come in. So all that needs to be replaced with proteins. So increasing your protein intake can boost metabolism, fight cravings, and significantly reduce appetite. So in case a child is consuming more protein, or if he is guided to have more protein, he will be able to eat right. And the important thing is that a child eats right. So here we have 5 more reasons to eat more protein. Protein builds muscle and helps you get measurably stronger. Counteracts age-related muscle loss and keeps you feeling full. Increases your metabolic rate. Speeds injury recovery time. So these are not only that it will happen to a child, but when a child or a smoke develops a habit of having protein, then this becomes a lifestyle habit. Then it's taken forward, and during the aging process, when somebody is aging, and if the storage of protein is high, then definitely the body responses are better. So a habit formation is a must for our children for these particular 5 reasons which I have just mentioned to you. How much more protein do you need? Now this is important. I am having protein, but how much more should I use or eat or develop a habit? Calculate your recommended dietary allowance by multiplying your weight in pounds by 0.36. keep in mind that's the minimum you need. And some experts claim it's better to eat up to twice that amount. That means protein has to be a very good part of our diet. It's also best to space out your protein intake. Evidence supports that benefits of eating to 20 to 30 grams with each meal. That means intake of protein has to be more, up to 20 to 30 grams with each meal. Eating protein throughout the day delivers a steady supply of essential amino acids. I'm sure we don't need to go into the details of amino acids, and proteins is self-explanatory there. So protein also gives a good supply of all the essential amino acids if they are consumed in right quantity, or even if they are consumed in more quantity in children, it's perfectly fine. Even up to the double amount the children can consume. Now this is talking about how to help your children develop healthy eating habits. It's so important that children develop that eating habits at the right age. And when we talk about the right age, it's the kids which are in the school. It's the kids when, as parents, we have to take care that they are small and we have to develop them into eating the healthy eating habits. Eat a variety of different colored fruits and veggies every day, both raw and cooked. So this beautiful picture which you are seeing here on the screen is showing you the colors. I'm sure you will be able to identify the vegetables or the good tomatoes which are being shown here. So these are colors. So imagine children deciding the colors of the vegetable or the fruit which they want to finalize and which they want to eat on Monday, which they want to eat on Tuesday, which they want to eat on Wednesday. So let me fix today is a Monday, it's a red day for me. Tuesday, it's a green day for me. So as we fix our days, that Thursday I will not eat meat, Tuesday I will not eat meat. Yes, why not? Similarly, we should fix it with our children. Okay, Monday is a red day, Tuesday is a green day, Wednesday is a yellow day. So have more colors, and definitely we can make a good variety of cooked and uncooked veggies and fruits for the children. So how many serves do the kids and teens need? This is also talking about how much and how many times. That means the frequency according to the age and frequency of the vegetables per day. What is it, how it is recommended, how it should be consumed. So recommended daily serves of fruits and vegetables by age and gender. Please have a glance at this. It's specifying the ages from preschool to the senior secondary schools. Okay, so we say that the recommended daily serves of fruits and vegetables, that is dependent on the age and the gender. For the age 1 and 2, 1 or 2 fruits for girls, 1 or 2 fruits for boys, vegetables for boys and girls is same. But the moment the age changes, the moment the age is 2 to 3, for a girl, for the girls it is 1 fruit, for also boys it is same. 2.5 and 2.5 of the vegetables. For 4 to 8 years, we have seen 1.5 and 1.5 of fruits and 4.5 and 4.5 of the vegetables. That means more so for boys and girls, definitely it has to be same. Except when the boys are around between the age of 12 to 18 years. Only in that case, the vegetable quantity of the boys changes just by half. That means we have to have both boys and the girls have the daily quantity of fruits and vegetables irrespective of their gender. So that is a very, very point to be kept in mind while even doing the meal planning or while talking to the students, which are boys or girls. Okay. So next we come to about the soft drinks, how much, which is right, which is wrong, etc., etc. And as I said earlier itself, we should 100% of, sorry, we should avoid sugary soft drinks. We should avoid the sugary soft drinks and fruit juices. It's very necessary. The fruits give us the pulp also. If we take the fruit juices, there is no pulp. So the body requires that. And hence it is mentioned that to avoid the sugary soft drinks as well as the fruit juices. The warnings we should read, whatever we are buying, we should read the warnings written on the bottles. Drinking beverages with added sugars contributes to obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay. Many of the sugar drinks, it is written on the labels, and hence earlier we had seen a table which spoke about the labels when we were talking about taking charge of your health by maintaining a balanced diet. We also discussed on reading the labels. So labels should be read, and any soft drinks which is having more of the sugars should not be taken. They should be completely avoided. Examples, I'm sure you can put it in the chat box. All of you are so aware on the added sugar drinks. But as parents, sometimes also we give up when these children do not agree to our suggestions. But we have to bring that lifestyle change, and that's our challenge, what we are talking here today. So here we come to rethinking our drinks. Green, healthiest choice. So you can see a red, yellow and green lights here. Definitely, we all travel on roads, so we understand the value of red buttons, the yellow buttons and the green buttons. So green is the healthiest choice. The water, the fruit infused water, skim or 1% milk, the crystal light, the unsweetened tea, they are all the green or the highest or the healthiest choice of having the drink. Now we come to the moderately healthy choice. What is moderately healthy choice? Moderately healthy choice comes under the yellow category. It's okay, but it's not the healthiest, but it's moderately healthy. So there comes the chocolate milk, the low calorie sports drinks, 100% juice, and diet soda. These are under the moderately healthy choices. And lastly, we come to the red. Red means no, stop, stop, stop. So the red says least healthy choice. Sports drinks, energy drinks, regular soda, fruit drinks with added sugar, and sweetened tea. This is a clear stop. So these habits should not be developed at all. And as we've seen the age groups in the previous slide, right from the young ones, the 1 year old, the 2 years old, such habits should be actually created from that age. And life, originally, all our parents and everybody have already taught us that जो भी बच्चे को सिखाना है वो पहले 4 साल में 5 साल में सिखा दो. 5 साल में नहीं तो कम से कम 10 साल में तो सिखा देना चाहिए. सो ये जो हम बात कर रहे हैं 10-year-old तक के लिए, we should see that the 10-year-old develops these habits and then sustaining it over the period of time when he or she is in the school. Then added sugar has no nutritional value. Drinking large amounts of sugar can cause weight gain. Weight gain can lead to a person being overweight or obese, which can cause heart failure, diabetes, and many other health problems. So I am sure if we say, did you know? I will say we know, and I will say we should follow. Now we come to the carbohydrate part. We have just talked about the sugar, the drinks, the fruit juices, and we come to the carbohydrate part. And in the carbohydrate part, all of us should see these tables which are available here on the screen. Reduce your carb intake. Cutting carbs may aid weight loss by reducing appetite and making you eat fewer calories. That means replace carbohydrates with green vegetables, red vegetables, fruits, green fruits, boiled eggs, etc., etc. So this is the change which has to be brought, and once this change is brought, definitely the carb intake will become less. Then we talk about the effects of eating a low carb diet. The low carb intake increases fat burning. So low carb intake, eating a low carb diet leads to normal blood sugar levels, which lead to normal insulin levels. So your body can burn fat, which shrinks fat cells. Oh, this is very interesting. I'm sure you must be liking it. And from today, you must have taken a call and a decision that, oh, I will take at least one chapati less a day if I'm able to look better. Do that. So if you take low carb, definitely the body cells will shrink. And hence, it's a very gradual, natural process of burning fat and reducing the weight also. So reducing carb is not a very big deal. Just cutting out one portion of the carb will give you a better fat reduction and a better shape of the body. Now I come here on the picture which is in the screen down in your screens. You can see there's mention of cross and a right. A cross indicates no, 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 no. And a right indicates yes, 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 yes. So reduce all those stuff which are processed. Processed food should not be consumed much. Fresh fruit should be consumed. Fresh vegetables should be consumed. They are easily digestible, and definitely they also help you shrink the fat cells and will help you slim down more. Various other benefits. They also have low weight, heart is good, the blood is good, the oxygenated blood is also higher in those persons who eat right. So low calorie diet versus a low carb diet, or a low calorie and a high carb diet versus a low carb diet. Let's see the difference. There are two sweet ladies here. One you can see who's taking a high carb diet, and one you can see who's taking a low carb diet. So the high carb diet, up and down sugar level. That means the sugar level keeps fluctuating. Increased fat storage is there, and hunger is there, cravings are there. So definitely high carb diet should be really avoided and controlled. But for a person who is taking a low carb diet, there are steady sugar levels, and there is less fat storage, and there is less hunger or carving also. So you have to see or choose between less carb diet or a high carb diet. And definitely if you choose a high carb diet, it will burn sugar and it will have more store of fat. And here if you take a low carb diet, it will burn fat and lose weight also. So definitely the lifestyle changes in the form of reducing the carb intake are essential, and they impact the body shape. Not only the shape, they also impact the functioning of the body. So the shape and functioning both have to be very, very good to be and sustain our life for a longer time, which can be a healthy life. So how to maintain a healthy lifestyle through diet? It's a big challenge. And it's a big challenge because it's very tough to be on that. But there are some examples of people who have left completely carbohydrates, who are not taking carbohydrates in their life at all. They are exceptional people, and they live long, very long, with good quality of life. So we should talk about how to add more fruits and vegetables in our diet. So mix vegetable into your go-to dishes. So the choice of the dishes should be more. I'd ask you to punch in the chat which 5 vegetables you don't like to eat. I really want you to recall now that now is the time to take them out of the chat and bring them back into your lifestyle. Not only your lifestyle, but also in the life of your children and also the life of your students. Evade anything which you think that you cannot eat. It will take some time, but mixing vegetables into dishes is an important thing. Karela nahi kha sakte, tinda nahi kha sakte, tori nahi kha sakte. There are n number of excuses which seniors give. If seniors or parents give such excuses, what will happen to the children? They will never eat green vegetable. They will never eat leafy vegetables. So change. So mix vegetables into your go-to dishes. Swap meat for peppers and mushrooms. Try veggie pasta instead of grain pasta, like one made out of black beans for more plant-based protein. Plant-based protein has a very important thing. And plant-based protein is important because it's a growing thing. Many of us eat दाल, अंकुरित दाल. आप सबको पता होगा अंकुरित दाल खाते हैं हम. रात को भिगोते हैं, सुबह अंकुरित हो जाते हैं और अंकुरित हम खाना पसंद करते हैं. Is the green moong dal, is the green red gram also which we do ankurit. They are living, and you eat those things. They are very, very healthy. So once you are eating something which is living, a plant-based protein, that becomes very, very healthy, and hence try that. Use fresh vegetables and veggies wherever possible. Watch for sodium in canned vegetables. Canned vegetables are stored in where the liquid has got very high sodium. Such should be avoided. And thankfully, we eat very little of canned vegetables in our country. We normally eat fresh vegetables. We enjoy purchasing vegetables and more so cutting them and then cooking ourselves. So look for the canned fruit packed in water instead of syrup. This is actually a time which is going in our country also, wherein many of the parents, where both the parents are working, some precautions have to be taken now, and hence it has to be taken. These such kind of things have to be taken good care, and planning while planning for the week ahead for the vegetables and the fruits and the diet of the child and everyone. Pack your child's lunch bag with fruits and veggies, sliced apples, a banana or carrot sticks. You see, these are important things. If we are carrying 2 tiffins, one should be fruit, one should be our regular meals. If we are carrying 3 tiffins, one should be full of raw stuff, carrot, apples, anything which can be taken raw. It can also add to the plant-based protein, that means the ankurit dal part. That can also be a good part of the lunch which is being served which is being taken by the children in the school. Then healthy snacks should be prepared. And why healthy snacks should be prepared? So that we are giving the children the right diet. Teach children the difference between everyday snacks such as fruits, veggies, and occasional snacks such as cookies and sweets. Keep cut fruits and veggies like carrots, peppers, or orange slices in refrigerator. Prepare your meals for the week by making them ahead on weekends or on a day off. These are suggested because of the time where both the parents are working. So not missing on the meal or healthy snack of a child, it is important that every ingredient which is required to be absorbed by the child is already ready for the tiffins and already ready for a child to choose from the refrigerator. Many a times when children are hungry and there is nothing in the refrigerator, they will definitely move towards taking something unhealthy. Hence, to bring a lifestyle modification, to bring a lifestyle change in the children, it is important that the arrangement, the provision is created at home. So provisioning is the primary responsibility of the parents. So next point, Reduce fat, salt, and sugar. I have been continuously emphasizing on these aspects of reducing fat, salt, and sugar intake. When eating out, choose baked or grilled food instead of fried, and do the same at home. Make water your go-to drink instead of soda or sweetened beverages. It's a very good habit of carrying water bottles while going out of the house. Read labels on packaged ingredients to find foods lower in sodium. Reduce amounts of salt added to food when cooking. And if you start putting less salt, after some days you don't even mind that the salt is not there. Try to experiment this. It's quite interesting. You can do it. So here we come to the nutritional facts. I'm sure you would like to have a glance of this. Quickly, 30 seconds, you can have a glance of this chart, please. So I'm sure you must have seen the calories and how much calories and how much nutrients and from where the nutrients and what percentage of nutrients are required. So these should be incorporated in the daily diet of all. Control the portion sizes. How much? Again, we are talking how much. Am I eating a baby pizza or am I eating a grandfather pizza? I have to choose. And more so, not me. As a parent, I have to choose what is right for my child. As a teacher, I have to guide what is right for the student. As a teacher, I have to guide my playing playing team how much you should. Can you cheat? Can you cheat on a Saturday or a Sunday? Most of the coaches I have heard, and I have heard also a great nutritionist of the country, he also says, don't mind if you're cheating, it's okay, but not always. You cheat, maybe you keep a day for cheating, make Saturday or a Sunday a cheat day when you are not doing your activity schedule. No problem, because everything the children will not be always in the same age group, they will grow. So definitely we have to take care of their taste buds, but simultaneously we have to take care of their health also. Hence, the portion sizes are important. Use smaller plates for serving. Portion sizes depend on age, gender, and the activity level. We have already spoken on this. The king size lunch, the beggar size dinner. These are the punchlines. So have lunch very nicely, but have dinner of small quantity and never overeat. Do not overeat at all at any meals. So fix this and you will see a good change. So we come to the next point, which is about the dietary recommended dietary allowances. I would like you to glance here also. These dietary glances are guidelines have been given by the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, which is coming up with all the requirements for the Indian population. So please look at these dietary recommendations, allowances for Indians, macronutrients and the minerals. Please have a glance, take 30 seconds. So I hope you have seen this very carefully. They are based on the group, whether you are a boy or a girl. It is based on the age for a school child, 5 to 6 years to 16 to 17 years. Then it has got a weight range also. Body weight in kg. How much body weight should be there for a child who is, let us say, 5 to 6 years, or who is, let us say, 16 to 17 years? What is the net energy, that is the kilocalorie per day requirement, is mentioned here, right from 1350 to 2440. What is the caloric requirement per gram per day? This is also mentioned here. Then we have to see the visible fat gram per day, how much it is required. Also the calcium, which is a milligram per day, what is the dietary requirement, and also iron. which is a milligram per day requirement. I'm sure you must have absorbed this slide very well, and in future you will use it. Don't forget, this is given by the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad. Then we have the daily lifestyle recommendations for the children. Each parent and each teacher is always confused or always apprehensive about what to talk to children about the suggested daily routine for the students. Again, this is age-wise and class-wise. I will suggest, again, you take 30 seconds to absorb this. Please read it carefully and I'll place the highlights after that. Thank you. So this were the National Sleep Foundation, which has suggested the daily routine for students, age-wise and class-wise. And this National Sleep Foundation is at Washington. So I'm sure you must have observed how much our sleep time, how much our study time, how much our play time, how much watching TV, how much time in spending in eating, how much time is spent in school, and how much time is spent on assignments. So these are the times which have been classified by the National Sleep Foundation. Sleeping is the foundation of health. So it's important to sleep well. It's important to invest time accordingly in our daily routine, whether it is sleeping, whether it is studying, whether it is playing, whether it is watching TV, whether it is eating time or school time or doing our assignment. It's an unfortunate time when a pandemic has taken place, and though we want our children to be on ground, but it is so unfortunate that they also have to take their classes online. And the more we tell them to be away from TV, or the more we tell them to be away from their mobiles, the more now they have to be with those TVs and their mobiles. Nevertheless, this time will go, and we will still re-emphasize on what we are talking here. So playing game can improve vision, promote social skills, increase attention span, and reduce stress. Sleep is a vital need, essential to a child's health and growth. Sleep promotes alertness, memory, and performance. Children who get sleep enough are more likely to function better and are less prone to behavioral problems and moodiness. So there is a relationship between sleeping well and the behavior and the mood of a child. So it's important that the time for sleep and to time to wake up is fixed. So जल्दी सोना और जल्दी उठना जैसे बड़े बुजुर्ग लोग कहा करते थे, बहुत अच्छी बात कहते थे, शायद हम उसको अपनाएं और उसको बच्चों में भी अपनाएं, ये हमें करना चाहिए. और इसी तरह से बहुत सारी हॉबीज आपने देखी होंगी, बच्चे करते हैं. So I will move to the next slide. So right posture for sitting. So please see this. We are all sitting at home. Are we sitting correctly or are we sitting wrong? जरा shuffle करके अपने को ठीक से बिठा लीजिए जल्दी से. And tell me how many of you are not sitting in correct posture. In 10 seconds, punch in how many of you were not sitting correctly. We always forget when it comes to posture. So the right posture only I'm reading, the wrong are in the picture, you can see them. The hips bent at 90 degrees. The desk should be 1 to 2 inches higher than the bent elbow. The knees bent at 90 degrees angle and the feet flat on the floor. So this is the right way of sitting. And even if when I'm talking to you, I'm trying to keep this posture when I'm talking to you. So please avoid the postures which are not correct, because they lead to a lot of difficulties in back, neck, and many other associated health problems they come. The figures which you are seeing, the source is from Swachh Bachche Swasth Bharat from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. This is another picture of, again, from the Swachh Bacche Swasth Bharat of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, which is talking about the bag weight which the children carry to school. You see, you have to see which child is smiling and which child is too tired and which child is not at all enjoying carrying his bag at all. So is your child's backpack making the grade? We say that the straps need to be on both shoulders. I'm sure you will justify me when I'm saying this yourself. The weight of the bag will be equally on both the sides of the shoulder and the back will be straight. The second figure says light load, no more than 15% of the body weight. So 15% is a quite rational of the body weight when the bag has to be there. And the bag has also to be required having the wide straps. And lastly, if the bag is too heavy, it can create a problem of rounded shoulders. So bag also is an important aspect, which I'm sure there are a lot of guidelines which are working on to reduce the bag of the school children. So drinking water, we have been talking of water. We have been talking of BMR. We have been talking about calories. We have been talking about burning of the calories. So a quick 10 reasons why you should drink water regularly. Just I will take 4 more minutes and then I will stop. So I want you to see this very fast and then we will take your questions. 10 reasons why you should drink more water. And how much water should be drunk. And water is necessary to boost the metabolism. So quickly, drinking water boosts the metabolism. Drinking half an hour before meals can help you eat fewer calories. This is one very good practice of having water before you start your meals. It takes nothing. Go and have a glass of water. Half an hour later, have your lunch. How much water you should drink? Your body weight in pounds divided by 2 is equal to the fluid in pound of your water daily. And how hydrated you feel. This is how you can see if you are having a lot of water, you will always and always keep smiling. So I'm sure you must have read by now the 10 reasons why you should drink more water. I'll quickly touch upon the points and move forward. The first point, increase energy and relieves fatigue, promotes weight loss, flushes out toxics, improves skin complexion, maintains regularity, boosts immune system, natural headache remedy, prevents cramps and sprains, puts you in good mood and saves money. Water is free. The best part is this. Drink as much as you can. I must tell you one very interesting story before I close this talk. Yeah. There was an Italian person. He got coronavirus and he went up to the point that he was given the ventilator and everything. Fortunately, that 96-year-old man survived. And while he was going home, the doctors there or the hospital there asked him the charge. They said, you pay us for the ventilator. That means the air which was given to you or the oxygen which was given to you to survive you during this coronavirus. And that man, 96-year-old man, wept a lot. He said, I think I owe more to the God today than to you. Because till now, in 96 years, I did not realize that I'm breathing free. So the water and the air I have just covered. And quickly, we should talk about the healthy habits for the healthy kids. They should stay fit, they should stay healthy, they should stay happy, they should stay energized, and they should definitely be safe. So what we have to do, we have to reflect, we have to replace, and we have to reinforce. Reflect means what we are doing now, replacing unhealthy habits to healthier habits, and reinforcing our new healthier habits. So reflect, replace, and reinforce. The 3 R's are important, along with staying fit, staying healthy, staying happy, staying energized, and staying safe. So this is my last slide, and how to lead a balanced nutrition and a better lifestyle. I think the whole topic covered about that only. So these are the key takeaways. Making dietary changes. 1, adding fruit and veggies to the diet, reducing carbs and fats in diet, making lifestyle changes. Very, very important, making lifestyle changes, because if the lifestyle changes are not made, other changes will not happen. Having the correct posture and keeping the body hydrated. So this was all about what I had to talk to you on the topic of the day, which was balanced nutrition and lifestyle for school. I hope I have justified in placing the points to you. And over to Sanjeev ji, we can take some questions, please.
Yeah. Madam, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji.
It was very informative. Your presentation nurtured our participants' knowledge also. Now, few questions are there, madam.
Yes, please.
Umesh asked, how to motivate students to have a balanced diet, madam?
Okay, Umesh ji, I'm happy that you have asked this question, because this is what I said. The $1,000,000 question is how to make the children eat. And
Yeah.
when we say so, how to make the children eat, it is important. I said the parents are very important. The role of parents come the first. If as a parent, I asked you to punch in 5 vegetables, I don't eat as a parent. If I don't eat as a parent, how can I expect my child to eat? So if you want to inculcate the eating habits in the children, I think the PE teachers should first change their own dietary habits. One suggestion. The second suggestion will be, please talk to your parents. Talk to your parents. Get experts talking to your parents, so that the parents are also equally motivated and known and learned that what is required for their children, how much is required for their children. If these workshops are held for the parents, I'm sure that if not 100%, even if we say 2% of the parents we are motivating, it will bring at least modification in 2 first, and then we can look at the journeys beyond. Thank you. Thank you, Umesh ji, for the question.
And one more question.
Yeah.
What will be the suitable food supplement during COVID-19?
Okay. Thank you for the question. Who's given this question?
This
Sujit
is
ji?
anonymous, madam.
Okay. Okay. So I think this is for everyone.
Yes, madam.
That's why it is anonymous.
If it is from no one, then it is for everyone. That's how it's my take. A very, very valid question, because this is the time we are in a tough time. I think since the lockdown has happened, the government is pushing the agenda of bringing immunity. And if you are now even able to see the slide which is front of you, it is showing pineapples, it is showing the citric foods. So please see that all these citric foods are taken in diet. If you ask me only of fruits, I'm giving you 2 fruits in this slide are already very openly visible to you, pineapple and the oranges. These are 2 fruits. You can have more citrus food. There can be more of, I can say, lemon in your diet right now. So citrus foods are the answer to your question, please. Thank you.
Madam, one more question.
Yeah.
What is keto diet, madam?
Pardon?
What does keto diet? Keto diet.
Keto.
Keto diet.
Yes.
I will not be able to take this question. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Madam, one more question. Childs are tempted to take soft drinks, madam. Requesting you to give an opinion, madam.
1 second. Which one?
Children are tempted to take a soft drink.
Yes.
So they are asking your opinion on this, madam.
Okay.
How do you stop?
Yeah, the soft drinks, you see, what I have seen, I am giving you with my experience. Sanjeev told that I have got a 28 years experience of teaching. My experience says all the habit formations are the responsibility of the parents. You see, the mobile, I'm talking of a very simple point, that I have a mobile. I'm giving you an example of mobile, but I'll come to soft drink back. Many of the mothers I am straight talking to you. Many of the mothers, what they will do, you travel in any metro or in a train or a plane, wherever. If the child is little disturbed, immediately what will happen? You will put something on mobile, a game is placed there, and the mobile is handed over to the child. Okay, fine. Now you be comfortable with the mobile and let me do my task. What are we creating? We are creating convenience for us as parents. Same is the point of ice creams. Same is the point for soft drinks. What we do essentially is for our convenience. If the child is arguing, if the child is being stubborn to get something, we should not give in to their point. We should always stick to our point. No, I will not give. If we are firm as parents, and I'm sure we should be, this habit will not come. So to be firm is very, very important.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Madam, in this panel, even Sujit sir is there. So for this session, I welcome you also.
Hello, Sujit. How are you doing?
Hello, ma'am.
Even our respected Dr. Usha S. Nair, madam is there.
Hello, Usha ma'am.
Please,
Hi.
yeah, welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, madam. Madam,
Ma'am, one question someone was asking just
Yeah.
while the other this thing. What is one question which is what is a serving of fruit and vegetable?
Serving of fruit and vegetable.
कहते हैं कि different fruits and vegetables are of different sizes. So how do you say what is a serving?
Serving basically determines out of the caloric quantity. I'm sure I had asked you to glance over that caloric table also, because you have to actually educate yourself more on how much, and I have been, I think, emphasizing on how much throughout my talk. And we all know, if you go back to the point where I had spoken about the nutritional institution from Hyderabad, this table which is visible now, this is giving you the caloric input. You have to plan from this how much. Fruits will vary. Caloric value of the fruits will also vary. Please plan based on this how much total calorie in a day you want to give a child, and then supplement it in how many times we are giving to a child. Maybe 4 times.
Actually मोटा-मोटा मैम यही है, सर्विंग का मतलब या तो एक कप हो गया या एक नंबर हो गया या एक चम्मच हो गया. So cut vegetables का. So basically it is not a full vegetable, but to answer this question, बहुत सारे लोगों का ये doubt भी है. Fundamentally होता भी है कि एक सर्विंग का मतलब क्या है? It's basically either 1 cup or half a cup or 1 चम्मच. Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ma'am, very interesting session, ma'am. Lot of superlatives coming your way. लोगों ने very nice presentation भी लिखा है. People are saying that they are finding it very informative.
Thank you.
Usha ma'am.
Yeah. So Dr. Kalpana Sharma, indeed, it's nice to see you on the screen here. And I'm sure the session was very informative. That's about 120 questions just come up. And when you talk of nutrition, finally, I think it's very informative because I always believe you are what you eat. That matters a lot. So I think there's lots in this. So indeed, some of the questions, like also as you suggested, or the lifestyle and the healthy habits, as parents, we could set role models. And I also believe the way we eat also matters, the time and the way. Because often I ask a question, how much of time you took to have your breakfast? So some say just 5 minutes. Maybe to dress up, they might take about half an hour. That also could be the possible. But I know you have done a wonderful, your session was really extremely beneficial. And I'm sure these are not lectures, these are life lessons. Because once they start practicing all by themselves, whatever you said, I think this 1322, if we start practicing itself, there'll be a lot of changes. And I'm sure with times to come, we'll find a very healthy community. So in terms of the lifestyle, the nutrition, the wellness, I think you include the concept of wellness into it, including like how a parent should behave. Now the biggest challenges, as you said, very difficult to control our children. Even one child, teachers may handle 50. Having a child at home becomes very difficult. So the best example you
Giving
gave
into the request of the children is the basic cause of all the problems.
Yeah.
And
so
we given at one time or the other.
So thank you so much on behalf of the Sports Authority of, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, Khelo India, Sports Authority of India, LNCP, and Principal Sujit, and all. Maybe we may have delegates and all the participants. A big thank you and a salute to you for having such a wonderful session with us. And I'm sure it's a memorable one.
No.
Sessions, what happens is when sessions are good, then you tend to retain. So such information can remember for more time. So once again, thank you so much. Food for thought. Yeah. So thank you so much, and I'd like to thank Sanjeev Patil for being the co-host, and Sujit. I need to thank all the participants too. And please don't forget to attend our evening session, because we have one of our alumnus who's coming there for the as an international speaker, and this can provide a lot of avenues and opportunities for the teachers too. So participants, please don't miss the international session, because sometimes you make it an opportunity for it may be a cultural exchange, it may be a networking that can be beneficial. So please don't miss those chances. Once again, Kalpana ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste.
Thank you.
Madam, you can leave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So,
Sujit,
Hello.
is there?
yeah,
Hello.
this is Sanjeev sir. You want to tell about the evening session?
Yeah, it is. Madam, just.
No, you want to put the post. Ask
Yeah,
Pranesh
yeah,
to put the post.
Yes.
So there's a session today evening, leadership in recreation sports, programming for success. That's by Dr. Matthew. He is from Indiana State University, and also an alumnus of Sai LNCP. So it's a proud moment. So it's actually
He's done his Bachelor of Physical Education, and
Lovely.
he'll be able to give out a lot of things which we think we could implement.
which batch, ma'am? Which batch?
Batch, I think I'll have to ask him when he comes in.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think we
So
should
that's
check
why
with
he's
him.
alumnus of LNCP.
Very good, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I think the URL is the same: schoolfitness.kelloindia.gov.in/tot.aspx. Join by clicking there. So see you all there. I can see that a lot of smiling faces, and people are very happy with the session. Thank you so much. See you in the evening today. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Sanjeev.